Welcome to today's 2-minute prophecy. We're going to do another part in Micah, going through the last part of the book, and we'll just get at it and read some of the scriptures and see what you think. So we're here in chapter 4 of Micah. In chapter 2, if you remember, we talked a little bit about the Lord leading them back into their land, leading the Israelites back in their land. When the Lord comes back and He sets up His reign on the earth, there won't be any need for weapons or any war. So that's what we get in chapter 4, verses 1 through 5. In the last days, the temple of the Lord in Jerusalem will become the most important place on earth. People from all over the world will go there to worship. Many nations will come and say, "Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the temple of the God of Israel. There He will teach us His ways so that we may obey Him. For in those days the Lord's teaching and His word will go out from Jerusalem. The Lord will settle international disputes." So there will be disputes during the time that He's here. There will be people who are saved and that follow Christ, and people who aren't saved that decide to turn against Christ during His 1,000-year reign. All the nations will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. All wars will stop and military training will come to an end. Everyone will live quietly in their own homes in peace and prosperity, for there will be nothing to fear. The Lord Almighty has promised this. Even though the nations around us worship idols, we will follow the Lord our God forever and ever. Okay, and then the last thing I want to talk about Jesus coming from Bethlehem. We get that in this verse in chapter 5, verses 2 through 5. "But you, O Bethlehem, are only a small village in Judah, yet a ruler of Israel will come from you, one whose origins are from the distant past. The people of Israel will be abandoned to their enemies until the time when the woman in labor gives birth to her son. Then at last his fellow countrymen will return from exile to their own land, and he will stand to lead his flock with the Lord's strength, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God. Then his people will live there undisturbed, for he will be highly honored all around the world, and he will be the source of our peace." During that time, King David will be brought back, and he will be leading his own people. Christ will be there as the king, and for 1,000 years, Christ will reign on this earth until the very end. And that's your 2-minute prophecy.